up, y'all? And welcome back to another episode of the Tell It Like It Is podcast. I'm your host, Larissa Pena, and we have a very special guest here in the studio, my friend, May Wallace. She is a Christian content creator, an ordained minister. She founded a community of girls called Faith Over Feelings with her sister, Sarah, and she's also a podcaster, too. And above all these things, she is a wife and a mama to her beautiful daughter, Emery. Welcome, May.
Hey, girl. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
I got you, girl.
I love it.
Let's go. She had me on her podcast. That was my first podcast ever.
That was our first time, really meeting.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's
For
crazy.
real, we really did. We met
that was the
to
first
do
time.
your podcast.
That was the first
which
time.
Which is insane.
Yes.
We were going to do, she was actually doing an event, a Christian event for girls. And that's how we kind of got connected. And then, girl, the event didn't even happen. We just did the podcast.
We did the podcast and we just became close friends after that. So that was nothing but God.
Come on, man.
Nothing but God.
The enemy was trying to get in the way of you being here too, girl, because her flight got delayed.
Our flight got delayed.
And it got canceled.
A whole bunch of stuff happening prior to, it was a lot. But I'm here and I'm excited.
And you
to
look
be
good
here.
too. Come
Thank
on.
you, girl. Thank you, girl.
I want you to talk to us about motherhood, all the things. How the heck is motherhood treating you? Tell us about Emery. How does it feel being a first-time mom?
Honestly, being a first-time mom, it came with a lot of preparation, but from God. God really prepared me for it. And there were a lot of attacks from the enemy, truly in the beginning, where, you feel like you're not going to be good enough. You feel like, you're not doing enough and all of these things. But prayer was truly what kept me grounded. Prayer and worship, because there's times where I wasn't able to get in my closet and pray. There's times where I wasn't, able to go read my word. Everything switches. Your whole routine, everything switches, but it's a good thing. Now you are a mom, you're being refined in a whole different way. And I was telling my friends this other day, I said, it's a whole different refinement, but God is truly he gives moms the grace for it. He really does. But the enemy attacks us so hard during that time where we feel like we can't do it, but we really and truly, we can do it.
Amen.
Through God, through him and his strength. So it's been going good. Postpartum is a thing. Postpartum is a thing. I was like, oh, okay. Need some strength. But you can. I didn't know about postpartum depression. Nobody really warned me about postpartum depression being a mom. Times where I just wanted to isolate myself and not talk to anybody. There are times where I didn't want to eat. There's times where, I just wanted to give up, honestly. So, girl, that kind of makes me emotional.
I got you.
But, yes, like I said, worship and prayer and having community is truly important. Even all walks of life, not just being a mom, all walks of life, because you have people behind you that can feel that and say, no, come on, come with me, get up. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. You're not going to isolate yourself. So for people who are dealing with depression, Christians or whoever who may be dealing with depression, reach out to people for sure. You want to reach out to people. You don't want to keep yourself stuck in that. You do not, because that's what the enemy wants you to do. He wants you to keep you stuck in that. He wants you to isolate yourself and make you feel worthless. But other than that, honestly, just finding my strength in God, that is literally has kept me. But raising Emery has been a blast. Having kids is a blast. Having kids is a blast. Your life doesn't stop.
Yeah.
People think, oh, your life stops. You won't be able to do this. She's with me.
Come on. She's backstage.
She's with me.
Emery's backstage.
Yeah, she's Emery is with me. She's on my back.
Yeah.
Wherever I'm going, she's going for sure. So your life does not stop. A lot of people think that oh no, I can't. I got to do this. I got to do that. Your child can do that with you. That makes it more fun because they get to experience it with you and they get to say, my parents took me here. I I didn't get to have that childhood.
Yes.
I don't know if you did, like to get to travel and stuff, you know, with your parents or do anything. So it's like my child gets to experience that.
She's blessed.
Yes.
I love that. I feel like I've seen so many beautiful examples of motherhood just in my generation where you see parents taking their kids with them, doing all the things, traveling. I feel like a lot of women are fearful in this generation to have children because exactly what you said, they're afraid that their life is going to completely be over. And that's not the case. I feel like there's so much negativity around motherhood when in reality, it's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
It's a privilege.
Yes.
And I haven't experienced it yet, but I know that God truly does give women a grace to figure it out to do it. But what is something that you feel like there's nothing anybody could have prepared you for when it comes to motherhood? You know, that you hear a lot of voices of women sharing their experiences or maybe even trauma dumping a little bit and sharing all of their horror stories, which is, it makes the idea of bringing a child into this world so intimidating and scary.
Girl, well, I've been trauma dumped by so many people and like coming up to this point, it couldn't be true. Any of it could not be true. And a lot of people do that because that's how their reality was.
Right.
And if you take that on however you experienced it and put that on, I think that is not fair.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that, and I hate that because it's not fair because then you have someone like, oh, did I make the right move? Like, is this right? Am I going to do this? Is it going to be like that? And so a lot of people told me like, you're going to, you're never going to do this and that. Oh, this is your last time going
Good luck,
out.
girl, your life's about to be over.
Your life's about to be over. Sleepless nights, all of these things. Like, you're never going to get back to your same size. You're never like, it's so many, so many negative things. But when I look at those people's lives, I'm like, that makes sense.
It tracks.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Yes, it makes sense because that's how you turned out to be. But I was like, no, that's not how my life is going to be. And it never has been that. So when I have a child, I'm like, she's just an addition to my life.
Right.
I'm not going to change anything.
Yeah.
Only the things I have to change. You know what I mean? So yes, a lot of trauma dump from other people. And like I said, it shows. So that was even
on TikTok, there's a girl who, it's literally a trend of a girl who has a list who shares all of the negative things that can happen to you.
Girl, ring
during
sizes.
pregnancy, postpartum.
Girl, somebody said I have to get a new ring. Somebody said I might have to change my shoe size. I said, I'm gonna have to get a whole new wardrobe just from being pregnant. I said, that's gonna cost more than the baby.
For real.
But nope. Literally, I was 235 and I just posted this other day and now I'm 165. Yes, girl.
Queen. Let's go.
But that's hard work and dedication. That's hard work and dedication. And you can't allow, having a child just suck you and suck the life out of you. Like, you just have to adjust. That's all it is. Just adjusting to it. In life, you have to adjust with everything. So
and everybody's different.
Everybody's different, yeah.
It really is. It does feel a little bit unfair when somebody is sharing only negativity of their experiences. And I think too, just as women, we want to find camaraderie. We want community. And I don't think that people have the worst intentions. I think they're just like, hey, this is what happened to me. Nobody warned me. I wish somebody would have told me. And a part of me, I want to know those things too, okay?
Yeah.
I don't want my vagina to tear to my butthole. What do I need to do to prevent that from happening?
Oh,
Give me all the things.
You want to know all the things?
Do I need to? How do I need to prepare for
these
these
you're doing
things?
just fine, honey.
Come on. So, I think it's a balance of women coming along, more women. It's a balance of women coming alongside women to encourage them, to remind them how beautiful it is to be able to bring life into this world, to have a body that's able to carry a baby and to take care of it once it comes into this world. That is such an honor and a privilege that God has given us to steward life. But at the same time, we do kind of have to be careful how we talk about our experiences because it's so easy to scare women before they even get pregnant or before they have their baby. And it's almost like, okay, well, I suffered like this and so do you. Prepare yourself because you're getting ready to go on the worst journey. It's like, girl, what? Like,
but that's the attitude.
I want to enjoy my pregnancy. I want to enjoy motherhood. Let me enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, I think that's the attitude that they give off. It's not like, hey, I'm warning you. It's like, better prepare yourself because it's going to be a whirlwind. I'm like, hey, calm down. Relax.
Who hurt you, girl? Who hurt you?
Like, I don't think you should have had kids. Yeah. But like, to answer another one of your questions, hemorrhoids was one of the things. Girl, that's worse than pushing out a baby.
Okay. Explain.
That's worse than pushing out a baby.
But for real though, what do hemorrhoids feel like? And did you fix them? Like, I need to know.
Okay, so that, it's worse, like I said, it's worse than contractions.
Really? Okay, and this happens.
Because you're breathing like...
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I've seen like diagrams of hemorrhoids and it basically looks like grapes hanging out of, your
Okay, I didn't have it that bad.
Okay.
But just imagine if I did.
Okay.
So I didn't have it that bad. But I had it bad enough to where I had to take stool softeners.
Oh,
yes, girl, it was horrible. But that was the worst thing. Okay. Honestly, that was the worst thing, that part.
Oh my God. Okay, so did you do natural childbirth? Did you C-section?
Yeah. Natural. That was something I prayed for, was a natural birth. And I prayed to like do everything naturally, but I did get the epidural. And then
what did that feel like? What did an epidural feel like?
Girl, I don't even remember.
It's a needle like this big. And I was like, will I ever want an epidural?
Girl, when you're in the heat of the moment, you're like, put that thing on my back and hurry up, put it on my back. But in the heat of the moment, yeah, I seen the needle and I was like, just hurry up. Like, I need this because you're just in pain or you just want some relief. I don't think it's anything that you can't bear. Everybody has different tolerances. And so, but it's a lot.
Oh my goodness. So hemorrhoids. Yeah, natural childbirth, epidurals. Out of all of the craziness of that, what is something that took you by surprise about either your birth story or your pregnancy journey, or after giving birth, something that wasn't as crazy and difficult as you thought it was going to be or as you had imagined it would be?
Honestly, wanting to have another child. And after going through that experience, wanting to have another one, like that didn't cross my mind at all. And the Bible talks about that, how a mother gets joy and forgets about childbirth after having a child because there's so much joy after that. And that was a testament, like the Bible speaks for itself. And so, like I said, during that time, you're going through all of this. It's fast. You're like, I need to get this over with. But after holding that baby and like, dang, like this is what God gave me and this is what I created. And he gave this to me. Leaving that hospital, I sobbed. I sobbed like never before. Just thanking God, honestly, that we both came out safe. And I didn't think that I wanted another one just because of, how I was feeling in the moment. Like I said, the rush of emotions come to your head. You have the enemy come into your head. And it's just like all these emotions you're dealing with. You're dealing with hormones. Your body snapping back to normal. You have a rush of hormones and you have a baby you now have to take care of. And so literally maybe a couple months go by, I'm like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Yeah. I could have another one.
Freaking superwoman, bro. I'm telling you, women are baddies. Women are superheroes.
I said, God is a girl dad.
He really
He's a girl dad. Because today I was looking at my husband. He's getting ready. He's taking a shower. I'm over here holding Emery doing my makeup. I was like, he can't do that. Men can't do that. Yeah. Like, we have a grace that I know. Like, God, he's a girl dad.
Wow. That is such a cute analogy. I've never heard it said. He really is a girl dad because he has to put up with so much. Just with me alone, I'm like, God, you love your daughters, okay? Yes. I'm either laughing, crying, screaming, anxious, stressed, hungry, hormones. And God is always there to listen.
Always.
He's right there. He's right there ready to go. Did you ever have a moment when, because all this information is being fed to you too before you're even having your baby, where you're learning, you know, what it's going to do to your body, how your body's going to heal and recover from those things. And now, you know, you had your baby, but now you got to take it home and you have to take care of her. It's this life that you've been entrusted. So at what point did it actually hit you? I'm a mother. I'm a mom. And I need to take care of this precious little baby. At what point did it hit you? Was it while you were pregnant? Was it after? Once you held her in your arms?
Girl, I'm going to tell you this. After I delivered her, I forgot to change her diaper the first day. Because I was so exhausted.
That's real.
And I'm like, oh, I'm a mom. I got to change her diaper already. I forgot.
Brooks, where are you? I need you.
He's over there asleep. And I'm like, why is the baby crying? Next morning, we need to change her diaper.
Poor baby.
So I think leaving the hospital is when I was like, I'm a mom. That's when I was like, I started sobbing. Like all this rush of emotions started coming over me. And I'm like, I'm taking home the best thing in the world.
Wow.
I'm taking home something that took forever to cook. And now
9 months to be exact. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a blessing though. It truly is. It really is.
And she's beautiful.
Thank you,
She's
girl.
gorgeous. She is truly
girl.
a mixture of the both of you. It's so weird because sometimes when you see babies, you see them favor either the mother or the father.
She look like her daddy.
She does, but she is a spinning image of your family. I'm telling you.
Really?
She's got your mom, your sister, all in one, and you.
I do not see it. I don't even know what I see. I think she's just her own person.
We're going to have to bring her on for the second episode.
Okay.
Okay, I wanted to ask you this question because aside from being a mother and a wife, two incredibly important roles in your life, you're also a content creator. You're also a minister. You preach at church on Sundays, and you also have a community of women that you oversee. You have a conference coming up in October. You know, so
don't remind me.
I need to fly out to Dallas to go be there, girl.
Please.
But Faith Over Feelings is having a conference coming up in October. Go check it out. We'll put all her socials so you can follow. But did you ever have any fears that you were going to have to choose one or the other? You know, you have this newfound identity as a mother, but you're still a content creator. You're still a minister. You're still this woman of God who is running after the things that he's asking you to do. So were there any fears or worries that you had? Like, I'm gonna have to choose one of these things. What if I can't do both? How did you navigate all of that?
Yeah, definitely fears for sure. There was a point where I was like, I'm gonna have to put something down. There was a point where I didn't think I could do anything. There was a point actually where I didn't do anything. I just rested, and it felt weird. It felt so weird to not do anything. And I was reminded that family is your first ministry.
Come on.
And that, you know, during those times where you're resting, you're still in God's will. Those times where you're not posting, you're still in God's will. So I had to, it was a time for me where I had to realize that, because I'm always on the go. Like, I'm an on the go person. I'm doing something always. Obviously, if God's leading me to do that, but I'm always on the go. I have a burden for ministry. I have a burden for his people. I have a burden for people, period. So I did have to sit down for a little while, but I had people, you know, helping me, my sister, my mom, some of our mentors, Cece, Tia. There were people who was like, okay, we know what season you're in and we're going to help you. I didn't ever have those people who were like, well, girl, come on, like you can do it. And there were times where I knew I could push myself, and there were times where I knew I needed to rest. And so that's really the difference. Like, you need to know when you need to rest, when God's calling you to rest, and then when you know you need to push. Because a lot of people like to say, you know, give yourself grace. But when God is calling you to do something, he's going to give you the grace to do it.
Right.
Not to sit down, but to do his will. So that was one of the things where I had to learn the difference between resting and then pushing myself
That's
to
good.
do ministry.
Right. It really is just as important to know when to sit down as it is
Mhm.
to know when God is telling you to run and take
Mhm.
off and do whatever it is that he's asking you to do. So something that I learned about you super quick after meeting you was just seeing the beautiful community that you had, your tribe. You know, I remember when May invited my husband and I to her church,
Oh, yeah.
and just seeing it's very much a family function,
Yeah.
going over your house to have lunch after church and just being in community, hanging out. It's so beautiful and I love it. And I feel like it really reminded me of what church and ministry should look like nowadays. I know that now with big church and mega churches, you don't get as much of that small community
Yeah.
feel. That's why small groups are so important in churches. But as a woman who has that tribe, who has that community, what would you say to maybe new mothers who find themselves living in a state where they're far from their family, or living in a place where they're new and they don't have a lot of friends or they don't have a lot of family, and they're carrying, you know, this new mantle of responsibility as being parents? How can a young woman or women of all ages find their tribe or their community within the context of the church or even outside, whatever you
Well,
that support system, you know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
that they
yeah.
need for motherhood?
Yeah, I think, well, there, like you said, there's not a lot of communities out there. I've had moms come up to me and said, like, they can't go to church because they have their child. Someone told me that.
Wow.
They kicked them out of Bible study because they can't bring their child. It'll be a distraction. I was like, who does that?
Yeah.
Who does that? It doesn't make sense. How is that welcoming? How is that showing the love of God? Like, it's for everybody. Everybody should be able to come. And I'm sure she knows when she needs to step out as a mom, or you can just tell her politely. But community is everything. I just say, like, you need to just step out there and find it. Step out and try different things. I know it's hard to, because if wherever you are, it's kind of hard. Me, I'm a outgoing person, so that's not hard for
Social
me.
butterfly,
Yeah, I'm a social butterfly. So it's like, I see somebody in the street, I'm like, oh girl, look at that. Or where you going? Like, I'm that person where I'm just talking to people and I'm trying to find my way around. And, you know, so take that step to talk to other people, find that community that cares about you and your child, not just, you know, having people in the church.
Yes.
So.
Yes, that's good. And your child is just as important and just as valuable. And I don't feel like it's fair. I feel like so many women already feel isolated when they
Exactly.
have babies, because
And then you don't have family.
and you don't have family, you don't have friends. Like that is something that I think about living in a completely new state. We don't have any family in California.
Yeah.
You know, we're starting to figure out our friend group and find our community, you know, and I think about having a baby and bringing kids into this world, and I see so many women feeling so isolated because the rest of their friends don't have kids. They're the first mom of the group, and so their friends are like, peace out, we're gonna go have movie night without you, we're gonna have girls night without you. And it's like, wait, what? Like, I think as communities and friend groups, we have to, you know, make sure that we're still including the mothers, the women who have the toddlers, you know, who can't deal with the childcare just yet or can't afford it. They don't have their grandparents, you know, their parents to take care of their grandkids, you know, just including women. I think that that's so important. Just as the body of Christ, I feel like that's necessary.
Yeah.
So as a content creator, here's the thing. I have seen so many people on social media say, as soon as I see a girl post a pregnancy announcement, I mute her or I unfollow her because I don't want to see the baby content. I don't want to see the new mommy vlogger. And it's like, dang, again,
that's me.
Who hurt you? Who hurt you? So as a content creator, how did you navigate, okay, I'm having a baby. Content is just a part of your life. Ministry is a part of your life. How did you go about thinking about how you wanted to include Emery into that process, into the content creation space, all of those things? Did you think about it? Did you stress about it?
I don't think I didn't think about it, because she's, like I said, she's a part of me now. So I wanted to show women that you can still be in ministry. You can still be a content creator and be that mom.
Come on,
You can still, do. I want people to get an insight of my life because it doesn't look the same how it did. Like you can scroll. And I was reading my word, drinking my little coffee. Now it's like music on blasting, babies in the hand, I'm worshiping, and that's okay. That's still fellowship. That's still worship. So I want other women or women who are expecting and want to know, how does it look, to be a Christian woman and have a baby? Like, is it still me and I'm down on my knees? Like, yeah, there are going to be times where it's late at night and you're going to need to find that place. And I had to learn that too. Like, it's not every single day, but when the Lord is calling me, I have to make that time, because there is times where I was making excuses and I wasn't waking up early enough, and I knew that, and I just needed my sleep. And I said, Lord, you have to understand.
Yeah, rest is important. Okay, listen, I am not a morning person, never will be a morning person.
Girl.
And my babies are just going to have to pick up on that. Okay, we're going to have to figure that out.
Yeah, but the Lord was like, you have time to wake up. And I said, you're right, I'm making an excuse. So I set that time, when he's calling you to set that time, it's important. You know it's important because it's for your spiritual growth.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Has having a baby kind of shifted or maybe impacted your relationship with the Lord? How has it changed things? Has it changed the way that you see God? Has it changed the way that you trust in him?
Girl, it's a whole nother refinement. That's all I got to say. Like, before, and we'll probably get into it in the next podcast, but like, before, being married, you have your things with your husband, right? You have things that you work on, you have routines. Like, you're in your routine. Routine just shakes. It just shakes. It shakes a lot. Yeah. And so you have to learn as, a couple, how you're going to take care. Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? It's teamwork. It truly is teamwork. And that takes communication.
Yeah.
And so we have had to really learn that. We were married maybe for a year and a half.
Wow. I mean, that's a good amount of time.
And we're still learning. It is a good amount of time. We're still learning. But that's why it's so good to just have God rooted in God. Like, girl, we be fussing about Emery. Who's going to take Emery?
Of course.
Who's going to take? I said, we act like we're in a custody battle. Why are we in a custody battle for our child? Oh, and so we have to pray all the time. All the time we have to pray.
That's real though. Okay, so we'll ask you more questions along these lines in our next video. So y'all need to watch the next episode. But you're talking about how things have shifted with your relationship with your husband. So how are you guys more intentional with one another now that there's a baby in the mix? Like, let's be real. Things are changing. You don't have as much time to focus on one another while you're dealing with. How old is Emery, by the way?
Emery's 9 months.
Emery is 9 months.
Yes.
9 months. That's crazy. She's so freaking cute. We're gonna have to bring her on so y'all can see her.
Yeah, she'll probably have a lot to say.
She'll have a little cameo in our next episode.
She'll have a lot to say.
I don't know how have things. How have you guys navigated that?
Yeah, she sleeps with us, so you know how that goes.
Oh, so she's right in the middle.
Right in the middle. Right in the middle.
She claimed her spot.
Mommy and daddy time is whenever. Mommy and daddy time is just. We communicate like we need each other right now.
Does it have to be scheduled in now? Is it like penciled in?
No, it's not. It's just like, I miss you.
Aww.
Yeah, it's like we talk. I miss you. Or we'll put our phones down. We'll try to put her down like early, and then we'll like watch a movie and stuff like that. But that's really it. That's the only thing that's changed. And just like communicating with each other, like, hey, we need to be intentional right now. So yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love you guys. You guys are so cute. I cannot wait for next episode. We're going to be yapping and yapping.
Yes, girl.
But I wanted to ask you, how has the rhythm of ministry, your content creation, your family life, how has that been since becoming a mom? Because you were talking about how now Emery she's become an addition to your life. So you've just brought her along in everything that you do. So now throw ministry into the mix. Throw your family into the mix. Your husband's family into the mix. How have things shifted, and how do you manage, okay, our baby's going to be with his family. Our baby's going to be with my family. I got ministry stuff going on. I got to film content. How the heck
Yeah.
do you handle it?
Girl, I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly don't know how.
That's
I
real.
honestly, like, I'm a planner, so I have everything on my phone. This is this. I've always been a planner, organized everything. So that's okay. But with ministry, thankfully, we're in ministry with my parents, you know that. So my mom's there. She takes Emery when I'm singing on the stage. And then once I get off, I take Emery. Brooks goes on the stage and does offering. So we're like a serving family. And I think she's adjusting to that because whenever I when I was having her or whatever, I was ministering.
Mm-hmm.
I was ministering. I was doing all the things. I was on the worship team. So I think she knows what's going on because she was in my belly when I was singing, when I was ministering, all those things. So you would think, because people ask me all the time, did she get frightened by all the noise at church?
She's used to it. She was bouncing up and down while you were praise and worship team.
Yes. I said, no. Am I supposed, like, is she supposed to have headphones on? They're like, no. My baby just gets frightened by the noise. I was like, girl, no, she loves it. She be worshiping
She was born on the church pews.
She was born on the church. She was there every Sunday. So, I think since we've already been in that, it's just kind of, it's working. It just works. Everything just aligns. Like, it just works together.
I love that.
So, it's no pressure, really. It's really no pressure.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's true. That's crazy. You're handing off your baby from one person to the other while you both get to minister. But that's real life.
Yes.
And that's real ministry.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I see it all the time. Like, I think it's Abby. She sings with her baby on her.
Yes.
The singer.
My goodness.
I love it.
I love seeing anybody. Or I see Don Cherie Wilkerson. She'll bring her babies up on stage and she'll have a baby in one hand, her 6-inch heels, and she'll be preaching down the heavens. And I'm like, that is the blueprint. Okay.
That is the blueprint.
I love to see
That's
it.
That wife.
It doesn't have to be the blueprint, but we love to see it. It's beautiful. I love that. Because so many women feel like, do I have to choose motherhood or ministry? Do I have to choose being a wife or do I get to choose still getting to pursue the creative side of me, my passions, the things that I love? And you really can. You can do it. You can. It's possible with margin and with the Lord.
Yeah, it's possible.
So tell us a little bit about Faith Over Feelings. Yes. Talk to us about that community. What are y'all doing over there? What do you have going on? How did it come to be? Whatever you want to share.
So a little backstory, a little testimony about Faith Over Feelings. So I had just committed my life back to Christ. Mm-hmm. And so I was, God had called me into a season of just getting to know him again, getting my own relationship with him. And so that just looked like me, being by myself. Yeah. And then when God called me out of that, I was like, now I don't have any friends. I left all my worldly friends. Wow. I don't have anybody. They're out in the world and this and that. And so, even though I was still in communication with them, there was just things that didn't align with my lifestyle. And so God called me to start Faith Over Feelings, girl, and it just began to grow. It started off with like little picnics, hikes. Then we started growing into a retreat. So we did a retreat last year and the year before that, I believe. And 60 plus women come out. Wow. We just get into the word, connect with other women who are like-minded, or not even like people find their faith there at the retreat. And so it's so exciting that we were able to witness all these women from different walks of life coming to, trust us with their, with how they're feeling and what their wants is, and we get to nourish that and help it grow. And so I love it. I love community. Like I said, I'm a big community girl. And so now we're kind of just after this event, because, my sister's pregnant.
I know.
My sister is pregnant. And so we both talked the other day. We're like, God is just really calling us into motherhood. And kind of like what you're asking me. He's just really calling us into motherhood, but pouring more into our ministry, our church, and being on bigger platforms, like ministering at churches, different churches and stuff like that. So yeah, after this conference, I feel like that's our big hoorah for our events. And we're just going to start, going to other events. Like I got asked to be in Gospel Girls. I don't know if you heard of them before.
No, I don't think I do.
Yeah.
That's a podcast though, right?
No, not them.
Okay, never mind.
I know who you're talking about.
I'm thinking about Girls Gone
Girls
Bible.
and Bible.
Okay.
Yeah. It's so many different ones.
Gospel Girls, that's so cool.
Yeah. And so I'm supposed to be on their panel. And then last year before that, I was at Galentine. So I think God's just calling us to, go out and minister. So I'm excited.
Yes. And to get to do that with your family, with your sister, while you're both experiencing a season that you've never experienced before, or being first-time moms. Like, how freaking cool is that?
I love it.
So have you kind of given her a pep talk on all the things like, okay, girl, this is what you're going to expect. Now, what is it being on the other side of things, being the one that now gets to kind of impart any kind of encouragement or warnings or concerns? Like, how has that been?
Well, I'm not a Debbie Downer. I'll tell you that. Amen. And everybody has their own preference. But I do try to tell her, eat healthy because your baby's going to eat that.
Yeah.
And so that's the only thing I really tell her, and like just to exercise. Yeah. But she's a different breed.
Yeah.
Me and my sister are totally opposite. Okay. I tell her all the time, if we weren't sisters, I don't think we could be friends.
Really? Oh my goodness.
But I love my sister to death, and that's why the enemy be attacking us so hard. Like if you didn't know us, me and my sister go at it.
That's crazy.
We go at it, but it's
that's
the enemy.
That's normal for siblings, I feel like.
Yeah, it's really the enemy. Like we'll be like, were you mad at me? Mm-hmm. Were you this and that? And I'm like, no, that's not. Have dreams about each other where the enemy's trying to like tear us apart. It's crazy. But yeah, that's my day one. But she's a different breed.
Dang,
she gonna have to come on here and tell you about her story.
Sarah, you come on the podcast,
I can't tell her story. But yeah, she's due in January. She thinks the baby's gonna come in December.
What?
But January 1st.
Baby like Louis.
Yeah.
Oh dang! So like beginning. So if she even if it's just a couple days early, she could be a December baby.
Yeah.
So we know if it's a boy or a girl.
It's a girl. Elora.
The genes that these people have. The girls are just like the female
girl
genes
season,
are so strong.
It's
We're
the girl
not mad
season.
about it, though.
Do you think what would you want first?
I think I would want a daughter first.
You want a daughter?
Yeah,
yes, I love that.
First.
You know what they say though? You don't always get what you want the first time.
I know.
So you may just get a boy.
I'm not gonna lie, like boys are kind of gross.
Oh,
and like
so you can avoid.
No, I've rebuked that in the name of Jesus. Lord, if you're listening, please give me a daughter. I want to be able to, when you grow up a certain way, I feel like the Lord has given me a lot of examples of how to not treat my children. And I feel like I was raised by an incredible mom and grandma who busted their booties to make sure that my brother and I had everything that we needed. But I just feel like there's so much in my life that I wanted or that I desired or that I needed, that I'm excited to be able to impart that into my children, whether it's a son or a daughter. It'll be beautiful. I would love to have a daughter first, though. Like,
yeah, she'd be so outfits. Cute. Girl, when you gave Emery her outfits, where I said, oh, I know who got her these outfits. They were so cute. I said, that's my girl. Because she go, I don't care. I said, nobody bring me clothes. Larissa, bring me some clothes.
That is so funny. I know people hate to see me coming for baby showers because I don't give them, like, the necessities. I give the babies cute outfits. Like, I'm just going to give you a fresh fit that they can wear once. But we trust you. And that's it. So I love it though. So I guess because you grew up in church, you grew up in ministry, your parents are pastors. So as somebody who grew up in that world, how did you find your voice and how did you become confident in your own voice when it comes to praying, when it comes to ministering, when it comes to figuring out the culture that you want to create for Faith Over Feelings? How did you figure that out?
Oh, that took years, honestly, because for a long time I didn't know my calling because I played basketball in college. Crazy. And so once I tore my ACL, that was my identity.
Oh my gosh.
Basketball was my identity. Wow. So I went down before our Faith Over Feelings, this whole dark hole of trying to find my identity.
Wait, tell us about that. You need to tell us. Okay. Give us a quick synopsis of the story of how that happened.
Girl, I just went buck wild. I did everything, any and everything. So growing up, I played basketball, really just wanted to be, make my parents proud, but make myself proud. I love basketball. That was just everything in me. Very competitive. You know that,
Of course.
I'm competitive. You're competitive too.
Mhm.
So, after I tore my ACL, I just went down this dark hole, basically, forgot everything I grew up in, even though, you grow up in it and God is calling you, but you're like,
I don't want to listen right now.
I don't want to listen.
Come back
I
another
want to
time.
see what this is about. So I tasted and seen every little thing.
Wow.
And it just wasn't for me.
Wow.
And we know why, because God, that wasn't my story. So, and if I would have kept going down there, I wouldn't have Emory. I wouldn't know Brooks. And crazy thing, though, because literally after faith over feelings, I told God, I'm like, I'm committing to you. And I was still dating here and there. But, all the people that were coming, I was like, no, y'all playing too much.
Yeah.
So when I met Brooks, I told God, I said, this is the last time, Lord. I said, after this, I said, you're going to have to bring the full package. I said, you're going to have to bring the full package. I told you I'm trying to be true to you. And these men are not doing it for me.
Oh, my goodness.
And so Brooks slid in my DMs.
Wow.
And I said, Lord, this is the last time. I'm not playing no games.
Come on.
And the rest is history.
Wow.
He my husband. Got a ring.
Oh, now you have a beautiful baby girl.
Yeah. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a testimony right there.
Yeah.
That'll preach right there. You're gonna be traveling talking about that.
Oh, that's our testimony, just how we found each other. That's a whole thing.
We'll talk about it on next episode of Tell
that's
Like
a whole thing. Brooks gets deep into it.
I love it. I can't wait to hear more about that.
Yeah.
Seriously. So you were talking about finding your voice and how it really takes years to figure that out. At what point did you finally feel like, okay, I feel confident in what God is doing through me. I feel confident in I feel like we never feel like we have it all together. But did you ever have a point where you're like, okay, God, I'm in my bag a little bit. You know what I mean? Like you got a moment where you're kind of like, okay, God, you're doing your thing.
Yeah. I kind of lost track whenever I was giving my testimony. But
It's okay.
I was going to say I dealt with a lot of comparison. And I feel like you deal with that a lot in ministry because you have people you look up to. You see a lot of people. You're like, oh, people resonate with them a lot. I want to be like that. Yeah. And like you said, I had to learn to stay in my own lane. I can't be like this girl over here. I can't be like this pastor over here, this minister. And so I did find myself like dibbling and dabbling, trying to find my voice in other people. And it never worked out. Yeah. It never worked out. And the thing is, like, God gives us all our own measure. Amen. He gives us all our own grace. And if we look at other people, we'll never come completely into the grace that he's given us. Yeah. And so that's what I was doing, trying to find my measure in other people and have their little bits. And I never found my own. So I wasn't truly being authentic. And once I finally stepped into that and realized, like, I can't preach like that. I can't talk like that, but this is what I can do, and people still resonate with it, and people are still like, there's an audience for everybody. There's people for everybody. Some people aren't gonna like you. Yeah, that's okay. But there's a crowd out there that said, hey, I'll get text, hey, what you said hit home for me. Amen. And that really is a testament of just like, don't compare yourself, girl. Don't compare yourself. Like, God gives everybody a measure. Amen. God gives everybody a measure.
That's good. That's so good. And it's so important too, because I was talking about that on another podcast episode where it is intimidating when you have all these different facets and all these different avenues where, women thrive and in the ministry world. It's such a small bubble that sometimes it just feels like, well, I got to be like them and I got to talk like them and I got to act like them. But no, God gives you a grace and a portion, and he gives you a unique set of talents and abilities. Everything that's already in you is what he wants to use. Exactly. You don't have to go looking for talents or gifts anywhere else but God. What he has given you is enough. And I just feel like that's so important. And the last question I want to ask you is, what advice or encouragement would you give to any young girl who might be watching this, or women of all ages who feel a call to pursue ministry, or they feel a call to pursue content creation, but exactly what you're saying, they feel stuck in comparison, they're scared to put themselves out there, they still haven't found their voice? What advice would you give them?
This is advice I would give to myself because I gave myself advice the other day because I found myself in that hole. Even with content creation, I was like,
I've been there too, girl.
what am I doing? Why did I start it? I found myself like, why did I start content creation? And somebody had to remind me, this is why, I followed you. And I had asked my friends one of my friends that I said, why did you follow me in the first place? Like, how did we become friends? And the Lord just reminded me, and I'm going to remind, the watchers or the one person who finds herself in comparison, be true to you. Stay in your own lane and be led by God in everything that you do. Everything that you do. Don't forget your why. Don't forget your why. When you leave your why, that is when you start working by yourself. And you never want to work by yourself. You want to work with God in all things, and He will direct your path. But whenever you work by yourself, you are on your own, in your own lane, and that's where God isn't. And so when you're working with God, everything will follow through, and just stay there. There's times where content is not going well. You're not getting the type of reaction you think you would. But if I'm led by God, I know that somebody is going to, somebody's getting what they need out of it. So even with content creation, you can compare yourself. I found myself doing that in content creation. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do that to get more. This and that. No, this is why I started it. And so I need to stick to my why.
That's good. That's so good. Yeah. And when you partner with God, He will multiply what you're doing. He can do 10 times more with you than what you could do on your own. Like he'll double and triple your 5 fish and 2 loaves.
Girl,
like is it 2? Is it 2?
No. 5 fish,
I'm about to be like, was it 5 loaves and 2 fish?
It multiplied.
Messing up the Lord's miracles. No, the Lord really will multiply.
Yeah.
Every gift, every inclination, everything that you have inside of you when you partner with Him and you surrender your desires to Him. Oh my goodness, it's so much more beautiful and powerful because you're not trying to run in your own lane for the approval of other people, to keep up, to be like other people. You're simply doing what God has called you to do. And you will always be in your own lane when you're doing something for the Lord. Like He'll use you wherever you are, whatever avenue, whatever realm, whatever industry, whether it's in the secular world or in the ministry world. The Lord wants to use you, and all He wants is our obedience. That's all He's asking for.
That's all He's asking.
So that's good. Thank you so much for joining us. I feel like that's a good place to end. We could sit here and talk for hours and hours. So you guys are just going to have to join us on our next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you like and comment, subscribe so you can get a notification every single time that we post a brand new episode. And we are looking at your comments. We have videos to come in response to some of your comments. Make sure that you tune in to our next episode to catch May again and alongside her husband, Brooks. And my husband's going to join us for the pod, and it's going to be a party. So make sure that you guys catch next week's episode. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.